Alright, this is IMAX Nation 1980 here with a record collection update, and this is going to be a pretty big one. Now, before I get started, I'm going to explain that earlier today, I went to a big flea market, and there were a couple people selling off their albums. Now, these were people who were just getting rid of them, so they sold most of them for 50 cents, 25 cents a piece. A couple of them were $1. They're just getting rid of them. They didn't even know what they were selling, so I hit the jackpot, and a relative of mine was also there, and he just said, take all my albums. He just gave them all to me and says, whatever you don't want, just throw away. So he gave all those albums to me for free, so I kind of hit the jackpot here now. This isn't going to be like the usual batch of records I have. There's a couple classic rock albums in here, but most of this is going to be music that, I'm familiar with, but I've never collected before, and there's some stuff in here that I've never even heard before, and it's going to be pretty exciting to hear it. Also, some of the condition of these records, I don't know. Some of the covers are in bad condition, but the records seem to be in alright condition, so hopefully some of these will play. If they don't play, they'll just go to the junk bin. Alright, now let's get started. We got Inside Out by The Association, featuring the hit Windy, and it's a stereo copy. Pretty glad I have this one now. Here we have Joe Walsh, So What? Got this one for 50 cents. Here we have Deodato, Prelude. This features his nearly 9-minute version of Also Sprach Zarathustra, the theme from, well, actually, it's a composition by Richard Wagner. I think that's how you say it, and of course, it was used in Stanley Kubrick's 2001 A Space Odyssey and kind of popularized the song. So Deodato did his version, Umir Deodato, and actually on the track listing, 2001 is mentioned right next to it. Here we have Perry Como Sings Merry Christmas Music. Now, you might have seen this in an earlier video, but that record, unfortunately, was in terrible condition. It skipped a lot, so I had to toss it. So I got this instead, because my new turntable is a little more sensitive now, whereas my older turntable plowed right through scratches and little dents like that. It didn't even affect it. All you heard was like a pop or something, but it didn't completely skip. So I got another copy of it. It's in the shrink wrap. Got this for $1, and it's a mono copy. Pretty happy about that. Here we have Scott Joplin, Rags, played by E. Power Biggs. This is a Masterworks portrait. I think this is a CBS Records release, I think, or Columbia Records, but it's a special release. It's also a reissue of an album that came out in 1973, so that's not the original you were looking at there. Here we have the music from Peter Gunn, of course, from the NBC TV series. Peter Gunn, of course, the music was by Henry Mancini, as you could see there. And the Peter Gunn theme, of course, is very famous. Everyone knows that theme. It's been used in a couple movies as a pop culture reference, and it was also used as the theme to the video game Spy Hunter in 1983. I think that's when it came out. Here we got Sing Along in Yiddish by Marv Kurz. This is a interesting record. And here's another Jewish-themed record. Connie Francis sings Jewish favorites. This one's on MGM. Here we have Golden Piano Hits by Ferrante and Teacher. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. I picked this one up because I had never heard this one before, so I'd like to hear what it sounds like. I'll most likely enjoy it. I mean, I wouldn't buy a record that I wouldn't potentially like. Here we have the big band hits of the 1930s, new recordings of which done by Enoch Light and the Light Brigade. There's a picture of him on the back. Here we have Great Cantors of the Present on Celebrity Records. This is a various artists album. I'll have to give this one a listen. Of course, it came with those free albums. Just handed that stack over to me like, here, take them all. I'm going to listen to all these. Probably going to like them all. Here we have a record with no sleeve. This is Noro Morales and his orchestra, Holiday in Havana. Here we have Mantovani, Stereo Showcase. This one's on London Records. This one should be really good. Here we have Metronome All-Stars, featuring the likes of Benny Goodman, Nat Cole, Frank Sinatra, a couple others. This one even has the original price sticker on it and the original bag. It's on Columbia Records. Oh, it also features Dizzy Gillespie, or Gillespie. I should know how to pronounce that, sorry. I think it's Dizzy Gillespie. Very, very legendary jazz artist there. 60 Years of Music America Loves Best. This is a various artist compilation, $398 back when it came out, put together by RCA Victor. And it features the likes of Glenn Miller and Leopold Stokowski and Arthur Rubinstein, Arthur Fiedler and the Boston Pops, Perry Como. This will be quite a joy to listen to. Leopold Stokowski conducted the soundtrack to Walt Disney's Fantasia. Here we got songs by Romberg and Gershwin, as played by Mona Poli and the Austrian Symphony Orchestra. It's ripped off on the side there, unfortunately. Interesting, to say the least. Your Dance Party Volume 2. Of course, it just says Dance Party on the cover, but on the record label it says Your Dance Party by Rafael Vargas and his orchestra. This one's got the original bag on it, too. It's on Paris. Here we got The Roaring Twenties by Bunny Maddox and his Old Time Charleston Band. This should be a good one. All the classics there, the 20s. Here we got 101 Strings in a Hawaiian Paradise. They've done a ton of albums. This is one of many. It's got the shrink wrap on it. Nice cover. Here we have Al Goodman and his orchestra performing George Gershwin's Porgy and Bess. Legendary there. Check that out. Here's another Al Goodman album. Selections from My Fair Lady and The King and I. Featuring vocals by Lola Fisher. Here we have Broadway Scores Again, Great Songs Made Unforgettable. Sung by Artie Wayne with Pete King, his orchestra, and the 21 Magic Voices. I've never heard of him before, so I'm in for a surprise probably when I listen to this one later. This one's not in the best of condition, but the record didn't seem to have too many scratches in it, so hopefully all these will play well. I hope I don't have to throw them in the junk box at the end of the day. And here we got Havana, 2 a.m. This one's got a golden stereo sticker on it. It's by Jose Madeira and his orchestra. Nice one to have. More Tea for Two Chachas, the Tommy Dorsey Orchestra featuring Warren Covington. This one's on Decca. Xavier Cugat and his orchestra, That Latin Beat. Now, forgive me for not pronouncing his name right. I know of him. I've heard of him prior to getting this record, so I'm in for a surprise here. That Latin Beat. It's on RCA Camden, and it's got the original bag. Can't wait to try that one out. Now, these next couple of albums didn't have the right record in them, but I'll just keep the covers and the records themselves, I guess. This was supposed to be The Roaring Twenties by Sandy Clark and his Old Timers, but take the record out and you get The Roaring Twenties by Fontana, his orchestra and chorus. The track listing is different from that on the cover, so the wrong record was put in there. Same thing with this album, 101 Strings, The Soul of Spain. This looks promising. It's got the shrink on it, but we take the vinyl out. This is one of those thick, unbreakable vinyls, as you could see. It's something completely different. This is violin solo played by Kathleen Parlow. It's got a lot of scratches on it. Probably toss it. Remember, I didn't know. He just gave them all to me. Here we got what's supposed to be Pearl Williams. A Trip Around the World Is Not a Cruise. I guess it's a comedy album, but if you look at down here, censored, not for airplay, for adults only. So I guess that was something at the time. But you pull the record out, and it's something completely different. It's Burlesque Humor by Red Fox. Interesting. Now, a couple of smaller sized records here. Here we got a EP from Columbia Records, Current Pop Instrumentals featuring Wally Scott, Paul Weston, Percy Faith, and Ken Griffin and Harry James. It's a gatefold double EP set. It's on Columbia. And a couple 78s, and I don't have a record player that plays at 78 RPM, so I'll just hold on to these. I actually got two more, but I had to toss them because they were broken. But these two are not broken, so I'll just hold on to them for collector's sake. But when I ever come across a 78 player, I'll have to listen to these. This is Modern Design Polka by the Globetrotters, and on the B side of this is Sleigh Ride Polka. The sleeves are all damaged, though. This one's a Columbia Masterworks sleeve. I wonder how old these are. These are probably either the 30s or the 40s. And here's the other 78. This sleeve is all ripped up. This is Rockabye Your Baby with a Dixie Melody by Al Jolson. And on the B side of this, and it's a Decca album, Decca 78. On the B side of this is California Here I Come, featured in the Columbia picture, The Jolson Story, also performed by Al Jolson there. Both are from that film, actually. So that was my big record update. I can't wait to listen to some of these artists that I haven't heard of before, and hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. This is IMAX Nation 1980, signing off.